Hello and welcome to this June 15th, 2010 video version of Invested Central's Chart of the Day. I'm Tom Bowley, Invested Central's Chief Market Strategist, and it's my pleasure to provide you with today's Chart of the Day. This Chart of the Day is brought to you by StockCharts.com, simply the web's best financial charts. Today we're featuring one of the Dow components, DuPont, ticker symbol DD. This is about a $33.4 billion basic materials company. The reason that we're featuring this one today is pretty simple. It's really the reversing candle that we saw take place on Monday, and we saw this across much of the market, where we saw either bearish engulfing candles. We saw some dojis. We saw shooting star candles, shooting star dojis. Dark cloud cover candles, a lot of different reversing candles, and off of the uptrend that we've seen over the last 4 or 5 days, getting back up to resistance. If you want to take a shot on the short side, the action on Monday I think lends quite favorably to taking that position. So on DuPont here, you can see that we actually topped back toward the end of April. We had a bearish engulfing candle right here on the top. If you go back into the latter part of March, you'll also see a bearish engulfing candle right here. Now the big difference was on the one in March, all we had was a very short-term pullback where we lost maybe another 50, 60, 70 cents before turning back to the upside. With the bearish engulfing candle that we saw in April, we actually marked the top for quite a while. The difference here is back in March when we put in this reversing candle, notice the MACD was pointing straight up. Anytime we get a MACD that's pointing straight up, it tells us that the momentum is still with the bulls at this particular point in time. So outside of just a short-term pullback, you can see DuPont actually went to new highs again. The difference though in April, notice when we put in this reversing candlestick, take a look at what the MACD had been doing. The MACD was actually turning back down and had been pointing down on the last 3 price highs. So this was telling us that buying momentum was slowing, and we got the reversing candlestick at the same time, and that led to a lot more selling. So big difference. Now what we're seeing here is simply that we've been in a downtrend. We made a little bit of a push, probably higher than I would have expected, to be honest. I would have thought after this candle right here with the long tail above the 20-day and the failure to close above it, that maybe we would have pushed lower one more time, maybe putting in a positive, a long-term positive divergence before turning up and moving up to the 50-day moving average. So I was a little bit surprised that DuPont was able to push through its 20-day and get all the way up to the 50-day. You can see on Friday we actually closed just over the 50-day moving average, but notice the volume on that move on Friday was quite light. And then, excuse me. And then, like I said yesterday, Monday, we ended up putting in a bearish engulfing candle right at this 50-day moving average. And this suggests to me that we could at least see some short-term downside action. I would be looking maybe for as low as 35.5, maybe even 35, and possibly even all the way back down to the support level at 34. To the top side, a close over $38 would get my attention from the short side. I'd probably be willing to cover there. But with this stock pushing higher, getting up close to resistance, and having an RSI above 50 to 60 is where we've been running into some problems recently on DuPont. And then also look at the stochastics, getting a little overbought with stochastics all the way up over 90 as we hit the 50-day moving average. So it looks like this is an area where DuPont could struggle in the near term. I hope you've enjoyed our presentation today. Be sure to check out our chart of the day every day at investedcentral.com. While you're there, be sure to sign up for our free weekly Market Pulse newsletter and have the chart of the day emailed directly to you. Happy trading.